Hey, just kind of curious what your overall thoughts were, just how the first day of free agency played out, with you, agreeing to the long-term deal, but kind of as a counter reaction to that, uh, DeForest, going to the Indianapolis Colts and getting his big contract. How did that play in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it was of course, an interesting day, to say the least. A lot of excitement, of course. Signing back with the Niners, that was definitely what I wanted to do. And then learning about Defo being traded, was a shock to me. And trying to figure out like how that happened and what went on. So I just signed, and then I saw that on the media, and then I called Defo. I was like, we talked about it, and we just everything happens for a reason. God always has a plan. So definitely, it's weird not being on the same team anymore, not playing alongside of each other, but we, both super blessed. He definitely deserved that contract. He's an amazing player, and I know he's going to do amazing things up there in Indianapolis. So both, two huge opportunities for us. Definitely wish we were still playing together, but, it's kind of beyond our control.
Arik, this is Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee. Obviously, this is a long ways out still, and nobody really knows what's going to happen. But the possibility exists that you guys could have training camp maybe in another state, in Nevada or Arizona or somewhere else. How do you think the team would handle that, and what do you think about that idea of having training camp somewhere else?
I mean, that's it will definitely be an adjustment for sure. But it's impossible to prepare for because it's like a big if, and no one really knows what's going on. So, how I'm handling it is taking it day by day, controlling what I can control, and that's trying to have some normalcy in my preparation and getting ready for the season. And so yeah, I mean, when that time comes, everybody will adjust and plan accordingly. I mean, we spent times on the road before. I know other teams, have training camp situations, other places too. So it would definitely be unique for us, something I haven't done. We always have training camp right there at SAP my entire career. So it'll definitely be an adjustment, but that's what if that's the decision made, then that's what we'll have to do.
Hey, Arik, it's Cam Inman here. Can you talk about this adjustment of having the virtual off-season program, and what are you guys missing out on that you don't get being in person together?
Yeah, I mean, missing out on a lot for sure. Missing, being on the field, building chemistry together. Especially for the younger guys. You can get a lot better with the off-season program. Miss being around our coaches and doing football drills and just missing starting that journey kind of together. Every year around this time it's a reset. Things start over and everybody starts back that journey. So definitely missing that. But times are what they are, and we're having to adjust and try to do the best we can with these virtual meetings, and try to build some continuity on that end, and refresh our brains, on our assignments and in the playbooks, and try to reiterate, and also too try to work on some of the things we'll be working on physically during this time, the best way we can. So.
Hey, Arik, this is Arik Armstead of the San Francisco Chronicle. Assuming you may have seen at least a little bit of video of Javon Kinlaw, what are your impressions of him, and maybe how is he similar, different from DeForest, and what could he add?
Definitely, can't really, compare players in that sense, even though play the similar position. You know, every guy is unique and different in his own right, and you know, Javon is going to have his own career. Um, so, you know, but looking at him and, you know, the limited stuff I've seen, you know, he's extremely talented, athletic, strong. I think he's going to add a lot to our team, and you know, I'm excited to, you know, when we all get back together, all of us starting that journey and helping bring him along and get him up to speed, and you know, being a leader and you know, guiding him throughout his career, and especially these early stages. So trying to help him any way I can, and you know, so I'm excited about that opportunity of playing with them, and being able to, you know, we all have common goals and go out there and play together and start that journey. You know, whenever that happens.
Hey, Arik, Nick Wagner from ESPN here. Two parts for you. First, you mentioned being surprised that DeForest got traded. Was there ever a time that you two had considered the possibility that it would be difficult just from a business sense to stay together? And the second part is there a sense of, you just mentioned the leadership aspect of that you have to kind of fill in some of that void that Defoe leaves behind?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I wouldn't say, excuse me, I wouldn't say I personally, you know, thought about that as a possibility. I figured, you know, there would be a way that we, you know, be able to continue playing together, but you know, things happen how it happened, you know. So, but you know, losing Defoe, you know, he's an irreplaceable player, a leader, a staple in our organization. So there's definitely going to be a void there that not just one person is going to be able to, you know, fill. It's going to, you know, be a team effort, especially, you know, our unit, and our defensive line. You know, we're all going to have to pick it up, and you know, to fill that void. So I think we're up for it. I think we have a great group of guys that, and we have a great team. I don't feel like we were reliant on just, you know, 3 guys throughout the year when we needed to play or we needed leadership. That it was a group effort, and guys at their own times had, you know, stepped up and made big plays in the entirety of the roster. So I think we're built the right way to adjust to something like this. And moving forward, I expect, you know, me and a whole host of my teammates stepping up in leadership ways on the field, and making plays, and, you know, filling that void.
Hi, Arik. It's Tracy Sandler. I wanted to ask you about Storytime with Arik Armstead. Can you just talk a little bit about that program and what that's going to look like?
Yeah, you know, just really what that I want to do is promote reading. You look at, there's been plenty of studies that you can predict a person's success later in life based on their reading scores at an early age, around third grade. So, you know, during this time with school being canceled, it's extremely difficult. I know it's a lot of pressure and responsibility on parents to start homeschooling and so forth. So I wanted to see how I could encourage kids to improve their reading skills and find reading fun and find reading engaging. And so I thought, you know, if me, myself, and other people who kids look up to, you know, promote reading and saw it as fun, and you know, read with them and read alongside them, that it would you know, spark them to want to read more, want to work on their skills in reading. And so yeah, I wanted to launch this program. I started it, but I want more people to be involved. I want other people of influence to you know, use their platform to read and promote reading in youth, and staying engaged during this time, because the separation virtually has left a lot of students disengaged they were disengaged before, but not having school consistently and having to do it from home, and a lot of idle time, a lot of students have became disengaged from school and reading in general. So I wanted to try to promote and engage students into reading more and working on their skills. So that's the thought process behind the program, and people can apply for me to read with your students, and hopefully it helps. That's my intention.
Hey, Eric, it's Jennifer. How are you doing?
How you doing?
With this new, this different off season, what can you and the other veterans in the room do to help Javon in those virtual meeting rooms?
Well, right now the rookies aren't allowed to be with the rest of the group, so they're meeting individually. But I mean, we can lead by example. I mean, we've been watching a lot of film from last year, so he'll be able to learn a lot off that, and the standard and the examples of how we want to play. And so he can start, going through that thought process of, what it's supposed to look like, and, what we can be better at, and what he can bring to the team and help us improve. I expect him to have, a big role on our team. So I think we can do it that way. And then it'll be interesting, once the rookies can join the rest of the group in the virtual meetings, being able to have that dialogue and that back and forth, while watching film and talking with our coaches.
Hey, Eric, it's MJ Acosta. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. With all of this, there's so much to balance. You yourselves, the organization, even the league is kind of working on a day-by-day basis. What have you personally gleaned from all of the adjustments that have had to be made to continue on as, in quotes, normally as possible through all of this, that you can share with other players or even with just people who are looking to you for some guidance?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just realizing that it's okay being disappointed or being sad about what's going on, I think is key. I think early on, I was like, I am extremely still blessed, and a lot of people are dealing with more hardships during this situation. But just realizing that, the times are tough, and, taking that into account and internalizing that, and, finding what to do, how you can change it, how you can improve, how you can try to have some sense of normalcy. And that's, really trying to stick to as much of a routine as you can, getting up, exercising, trying to have positive, impactful days, wake up and do something. So that's really how I just been approaching it. Not feeling sorry for yourself, but getting up and figuring out how you can get better. And it's forcing a lot of people to adjust and make adjustments, which is a part of growth. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm taking it. It's just some adversity to get through and make adjustments, and try to continue to stay on the course of getting better.
Hey, Eric, it's Scott Bair from NBC Sports Bay Area. I just wanted to ask you, after reviewing the tape of last season, I was curious about where you thought that you made strides and maybe areas that you would still like to work on and improve upon for the 2020 season.
Yeah, I made some strides. I think I became an overall better player. I think I got better in every facet. Still a lot to improve on. I want to play faster. I want to work on my get off. I want to continue to work on my technique and honing in on my skills. I think you can get better and better every year. So yeah, there's definitely some things I want to continue to improve on. But I think I got a lot better last year.
I was wondering along the lines of building chemistry with the defensive line. Obviously, you can't do it in person right now. Do you guys have a group organized team activities? And is it possible to at least build a little bit of that trust, even if you're not seeing each other, or is that's something that's going to have to wait till you're on the field?
Yeah, we got a group chat, so we've been all communicating in that, sending our workouts since we're all kind of separated, and trying to hold each other accountable, which I think is important, and trying to give each other ideas of stuff we're working on, and maybe somebody wants to incorporate that into what their daily routine or what they're trying to do to get better. So that's been great for us to have that. But definitely it's not going to be anything like actually being together and practicing and working out every day.
Eric, Marshall Harris, CBS 13. First off, how you doing? And second off, can you talk a little bit about how this pandemic has affected maybe your personal life and what ways that people maybe not see? I know you've done a lot of work here in the Sacramento area to try to come to contribute, but how has this affected you and maybe your family personally?
Yeah, I mean, it's affected me, I'm sure, just like it's affected everybody. I had some things planned. I was supposed getting married this off season. So those plans had to get put on hold. Been looking, of course, to get my living situation in order, and in Sacramento in the Bay Area too. But those things kind of had to get put on hold too, and changed up a bunch. So personally, been dealing with that, but trying to remain positive and realize that there's better days coming for all of us. So and yeah, I think how I've been looking at it, it's been some good opportunities for me to continue to progress personally and progress. I've been spending a lot more time with my fiance, spending a lot more time talking with my family. So that's been great for me. I've had opportunities to do outreach that I probably wouldn't have, and I've had opportunities to speak to youth and speak to individuals and try to inspire them, which I probably wouldn't have because I wouldn't have been able to do it physically. And now everybody's forced to be on Zoom and technology, so I've been able to speak to a bunch of people. So yeah, just adjusting. I think I've learned a lot throughout this process, and I think the rest of society has too. And hopefully we can transfer these things over. When things start to become more back normal and people are moving around and about. Hopefully we can take these things we learned past this.